This is the fourth part of my Italy series, and we're back in Tuscany. We're photographing a greenhouse, and we're going to be looking at shooting the external and an internal image with a single exposure and shooting, you know, that raw bracket and trying to bring the best out of it. Also, we've got wind, vegetation, and it's swaying around in the wind, so it's tips and tricks on doing that as well. Let's crack on with the video and head on back to Italy. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is James Kerwin, and this is me. I'm an architecture and interior photographer from the UK, and I love shooting abandoned places, relics, ruins, hidden gems and ghost towns, as well as off the beaten path locations all around the world. I'm posting new videos every Sunday, so why don't you join me for the ride by subscribing. You can also check out my website in the description below. Hello everyone, we are in the heart of Tuscany, close by to Florence, you know, the home of art, beautiful architecture. We're about maybe an hour away from Florence, and we're in this stunning greenhouse. Well, we're going to be talking about single exposures and also timing, getting everything right, timing things perfectly, making sure that the shot is at the best time of day. The sun's now dropping there behind the camera's position. I've timed it pretty well. I've been to this location on 3 separate occasions, and every time there's been scattered light, horrible light on the floor, and I thought it's best to come now. But we need to crack on and make sure we capture this in this beautiful hour. Let's get some shots. So inside the greenhouse, I actually took a couple of photographs. I took one for landscape orientation and one as a portrait orientation. However, the thing is, it was very dark to film inside the location, so we're just going to have to look at the results here. The thing about this place is when I originally visited earlier in the day, there was speckled lighting all over the floor, like I mentioned, but by going here at the right time, a little bit later, as the light is fading in the sky, we're able to capture images without that nasty light in that foreground. And then that means I can focus on pulling out the colours in the middle of the shot in the 1-point perspective that we spoke about just last week on the video. Check out that video in the link above if you're interested. If you want to support this channel, you can do so by purchasing one of the books listed in the description below. Okay, oof. Not a bad down here. Okay, so I'm just looking to get a single exposure here. Behind the greenhouse, but what I want to do is I want to try and balance it out like in frame. So I want to make sure that the light available now is going to be exactly what you know, when I take a single exposure, I want the balance of the light behind to match what's in front here. Well, first of all, I'm in manual mode. I'm using my live view in camera, which, to be honest with you, is the best thing to do because I can look exactly everything. I can look at my exposure. I'm shooting on a mirrorless camera, so that's helping me choose like what is my exposure and what it should look like. And of course, what I see on the LCD is what's going to reflect in the image. For a DSLR, it's no different now. What we could do is just look at the LCD, check everything, check our settings and look at the image back if we're worried. Now, when it comes to photographing like this type of architecture, I usually shoot with my lens's sharpest aperture. So what I do is I choose a lens that is essentially a good quality lens. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I started out on my journey using a basic wide angle and a Canon 6D. To get the sharpest out of the actual image quality though, what we look to do is shoot at the lens's sharpest aperture. And depending on the lens you use, that could be anywhere between f7.1 and f9. If I ever want to increase that or get more depth of field, I very rarely stop down to say f11. I would do other techniques in camera to get more depth of field if I needed it. But today we're starting quite basic. It's a simple shot of a nice greenhouse and I want one exposure. Settings are quite easy then when it comes to this kind of thing, because if we're going to say that my lens here, its sharpest aperture is f8, that's exactly what we're going to choose, f8. Now my ISO, for this particular shot, we've got some vegetation around us and I don't want any movement in it. It's only a light breeze. By doing ISO 200, that's going to give us a slightly shorter exposure time. That's going to mean that there's less movement in the trees and leaves. And we're going to keep an eye on that because they are swaying around in the wind a little bit. And we don't want that. We could increase our ISO, which is what I'll probably have to do. I could go up to say 640 here and then bring down my exposure to 1/4 of a second, which is better. Let's go for that for now. This lesson's about timing as well. It's not just about timing it right in terms of the location, the time of day. We're also talking about the timing with the wind, the breeze, because we don't want this vegetation in the foreground swaying around in the foreground of our image, as you can see over my head. I'm going to just time it well, try and get less wind, no movement in the leaves that are surrounding me just in front. They've stopped. I'm going to shoot that bracket. We'll go for it. I'm just going to check that. I'm pretty happy with that, you know, overall. I'm using my live view in camera, which, to be honest with you, is the best thing to do because I can look exactly everything. I can look at my exposure. I'm shooting on a mirrorless camera, so that's helping me choose like what is my exposure and what it should look like. And of course, what I see on the LCD is what's going to reflect in the image. For a DSLR, it's no different now. What we could do is just look at the LCD, check everything, check our settings and look at the image back if we're worried. Okay, so to get a balance between shutter speed, ISO, I've dropped my f-stop to 7.1. That gives me 1/4 of a second, and my ISO, unfortunately, is going to have to be about 800 if I want to do this in a single exposure, which is the whole point of this tutorial. So I'm going to do that, exactly that, and it's fine. We've got it nailed, no movement in the leaves, we've got some side light, backlight, it's looking pretty good. To check what I'm doing, I'm actually brightening my exposure up in my viewfinder, just so that I can see actually what I'm doing. When it comes to like getting the sharpest point, it's also just about timing things correctly. And what I mean by that is, we're looking at now not just the timing of the day, but also we want no wind. And right now the wind has just dropped. So that means I can now grab an exposure at a slightly lower ISO than I originally did. So I've captured one at ISO 1000, which is a bit high, to be honest. I've just captured one at 800. There's literally no wind now. As the sun drops, we've got less and less wind. So I should be able to just capture another one, 0.8 of a second. But in this particular one, it's just all about getting that single bracket, that single exposure, but getting it at the best we can. And I think I've done it, to be honest. I'm pretty happy. Okay, so here we have the external photograph. I think you'll agree it's quite nice. I kind of don't like the bright white space on the left top corner of the image. However, in terms of balancing out the scene and making it look attractive, it's done a good job. However, as soon as I finished recording this video, I punched my camera into 35mm on my wide angle lens and took another photo, cropping in and excluding the top of the greenhouse and some of the width. And I much prefer this version, as you'll see here. I hope you enjoy the images. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that one. It's a tough challenge, especially shooting video in that location. As the sunset fell, I hope it wasn't too grainy, the footage. You have to bear with me, some of these locations are. I want to upgrade my video camera at some point, but as this channel has really not kind of like got to the point where I can really kind of say that it's worth upgrading to an R6 for video when I'm not producing enough content off of this channel. So I need to keep going, and then maybe we'll do that at some point, and that'll give me better low light performance in some of these locations. So for now, please bear with me. I hope you've enjoyed it though nonetheless. I hope you've enjoyed the results. 2 great images, I think. I visited that location 4 or 5 times and twice to try and film this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments below. If you've got any suggestions on future episodes that I'm going to record here in Turkey, which is where I'm based. But for now, we're going to continue the series next week, same time, same place. Until then, see you all very soon. If you've got any comments, leave them below. Subscribe, of course. Hit the bell notification. You'll be alerted next week when I upload the video. Until then, bye for now.